Good, happy Tuesday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, rifle welding man arrested after overnight standoff in Hooksett. A Manchester man armed with a semi-automatic rifle was arrested in Hooksett early Tuesday morning after an hours-long standoff with police. Police were called to Campus Drive just before 9:30 p.m. on Monday, where they said an officer heard multiple gunshots being fired from the woods. A SWAT team from Manchester was called to the scene, and police set up a perimeter in the area. Police said officers made contact with Christopher Garone, 23. He was taken into custody without incident just before 2:30 a.m. No one was injured during the incident. Garone was ordered held on $10,000 bail. He is charged with reckless conduct and disorderly conduct. He is slated to be arraigned Tuesday morning. Senate candidates address terrorism concerns after attacks. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
So what would be different if you switched to a local credit union to save on fees? Not much. You get a new card and more money to spend. To learn more, visit bettervaluesbetterbanking.com.
At an AARP forum on Social Security this morning, both Senator Kelly Ayotte and Governor Maggie Hassan opened their remarks with a focus on terrorism.
Our thoughts are certainly with the people of Minnesota and New York and New Jersey.
And certainly we stand with those individuals and the law enforcement officers that are out there.
While the attacks are still under investigation, they're also being sorted out through a political lens as Hassan takes on Ayotte in a hotly contested U.S. Senate race.
Foreign policy and national security are critical issues, particularly in light of the fact that my opponent is supporting Donald Trump for the presidency. She says she will vote to put him in the Situation Room with access to nuclear codes.
Senator Ayotte continues to try to keep Donald Trump at arm's length on national security, declining to say if he would remain steady on days like this.
I think that whoever's elected president, we're going to trust them with all the responsibilities of commander-in-chief.
With a suspect now in custody in connection with the Manhattan and New Jersey bombings, we asked the candidates if they thought there might be others out there in the U.S. still waiting to strike.
Well, unfortunately, if you look at what our FBI does every single day, they have terrorism cases that are open in almost every single state in this country, and they have arrested a number of individuals with ties to terrorism or with those who are trying to support terrorism activity.
We are in constant contact with the FBI, and this is an evolving situation. And I think what's really important is for all Americans to stay vigilant and make sure that if they see something, they say something. And as this situation evolves, I think we'll learn more.
Now, given two chances, Governor Hassan declined to say definitively whether she thought there were other potential attackers in the U.S. She later provided a statement saying, quote, "That's exactly what our law enforcement and counterterrorism officials are working to ascertain right now." Adam Sexton, WMU.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Following terrorist attacks, safety a top concern at New England 300. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Latest technology. So what would be different if you switched to a local credit union to save on fees? Not much. You get a new card and more money to spend. To learn more, visit bettervaluesbetterbanking.com.
We're only days away from drivers starting their engines at the New England 300, but some fans can't wait for race weekend. New Hampshire Motor Speedway says fans started arriving on Saturday. While fans are here to enjoy themselves, the track is focused on keeping them safe.
Planning for safety and security is a year-long process for us. We work with local, state, and federal law enforcement to develop our safety plan.
Attacks over the weekend in New York, New Jersey, and Minnesota have cast a focus on safety at large events across America. With nearly 100,000 race fans expected this weekend in Loudoun, the track relies on guidance from safety officials.
For the safety of our fans, we cannot and will not discuss the details of our safety plans.
State leaders have determined there's no known connection between New Hampshire and the terror attacks. Still, they're asking Granite Staters to be vigilant.
We've been in contact with FBI, DHS, certainly the governor's been in contact with all of us to talk about steps that should be taken. With that being said, there's a lot of activity going on, some that you'll see with increased law enforcement and some you won't see.
Meanwhile, the Speedway is looking forward to another fun race weekend, making final preparations for the big crowds.
We always suggest to our fans, if you see something, say something. But we want to make sure that when our fans come out to the races this weekend, that they are able to enjoy themselves and all the activities that we have at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
And if you see anything suspicious at all, you're asked to call your local police department or 911. Reporting live in Loudoun, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New Jersey bar owner who found bombing suspect re-encounters dramatic shootout with police. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
As we reported at the top here, authorities are at the suspect's home right now. Authorities revealing they have discovered more of those devices. We're also learning more about the suspect's past. The family owning a fried chicken restaurant claiming they were discriminated against because they are Muslim. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross tonight.
Authorities tonight tell ABC News Ahmad Rahami is refusing to answer any questions or even give his name as the FBI builds its case against the Afghan-born naturalized U.S. citizen.
We have every reason to believe this was an act of terror.
As a teenager, Rahami attended high school in Edison, New Jersey, where he graduated in 2007 and was remembered as a clean-cut kid interested in sports and girls.
Ahmed had a girlfriend who became pregnant, who was far along in her pregnancy at the prom, and I know they ended up giving birth to a baby girl.
After a year at junior college, Rahami ended up working at the family restaurant, First American Fried Chicken in Elizabeth, New Jersey, beneath the family's second-floor apartment, which the FBI searched today. In 2011, his family sued the city of Elizabeth, claiming discrimination against Muslims because the city imposed a 10 o'clock closing time on the restaurant.
We had some code enforcement problems and noise complaints.
There was other trouble. Court records reviewed by ABC News show Rahami was accused in 2014 of stabbing a relative in the leg, but a grand jury failed to indict him. And U.S. officials tell ABC News tonight that over the last few years, Rahami traveled to Afghanistan and Pakistan, including almost a year, beginning in Quetta, Pakistan, between April 2013 and March 2014. Later telling authorities he had a wife in Pakistan.
If they spent more than a few days, it raises suspicions that while they were there, they will have been recruited by terrorist groups.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Why the Bank of Japan may overshadow the Federal Reserves on Super Wednesday. In Super Wednesday's Central Bank doubleheader, the Federal Reserve's show may be after throughout to the Bank of Japan's performance. Clinton slams Trump's demographic rhetoric on terror. Let's take a listen to this video from CNN.
Fears.
This threat is real, but so is our resolve. Americans will not cower, we will prevail. We will defend our country, and we will defeat the evil, twisted ideology of the terrorists. I'm the only candidate in this race who has been part of the hard decisions to take terrorists off the battlefield. And I've laid out a comprehensive plan to meet the evolving nature of this threat and take the fight to ISIS everywhere they threaten us, including online. I'm grateful to have support and advice from a wide range of bipartisan national security leaders who've worked with both Democratic and Republican presidents. When we met together earlier this month in New York, one of the points they emphasized was the need to support state and local law enforcement who act as our first line of defense, making sure they have the resources, the training, and intelligence they need to effectively prevent and respond to terror attacks. And this weekend's events underscored how important that is. We should also launch an intelligence surge to help identify and thwart attacks before they can be carried out. We need to work more closely with Silicon Valley and other partners to counter terrorist propaganda and recruitment efforts online. And it is crucial that we continue to build up trust between law enforcement and Muslim American communities.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. See you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.